Hi, it's Lianne Phillipson, registered nutritionist, and this video is an add-on to episode 114, where I talked about what 25% of the population are suffering with, which is, and when I say population, I mean of the whole world. I'm not talking about country by country. High blood pressure or hypertension. This is something that I've been asked about so many times of late. So much so that I did a whole episode of Eat This with Lianne about high blood pressure, about hypertension. And because sometimes when you're just listening, you've got your AirPods in or you're in the car, you need a visual on some of the things that I talk about. So this video is to go along with everything that I've talked about. So just quick summary. What I did mention was a lot of the conversations that are not really happening when you put the cuff on your arm, it puffs up, your doctor says your blood pressure is too high, and what are we going to do about it before the prescription pad comes out? Now, I'm not saying that's the wrong way to go or it's the wrong thing to do. Of course, follow your doctor's recommendations. But I just want you to know that there's a lot underneath it. There's so many aspects to this. There's insulin resistance, which I dive into. There's what about your belly fat? But where is the belly fat coming from? Is it something to do with sleep apnea, poor sleep? Is it your stress? Is it that you're not having any downtime at all? I mean, of course, there's the 5 o'clock somewhere in the world where you're gonna go and have your drink to try and chill out, but that's adding to all the hormone cascades that happen, high cortisol that leads to the belly fat. So there's so many aspects to this, including your gut. What about your gut health? Is your gut absorbing and assimilating? And also, let's say, what happens if you have gluten sensitivity? Maybe you're not celiac, but as I learned in episode 111 when we went over my DNA results from thednacompany.com/eat this, if you want to get yours done too, then I learned that gluten is not the best for me. I kind of already knew that, and I've taken it out of my diet years ago anyway, for the most part. But gluten sensitivity really messes with the absorption of vitamins and minerals. So anyway, I go into all of this and much more on episode 114. You can check out liannephillipson.com for the show notes and also more information. So let's dive into more of the visuals of what I was talking about. So pretty much in every intersection of the discussion was inflammation. That's just, the body just creates inflammation from the immune system. It knows what it's doing as the arteries are hardening, as cholesterol is being laid down, as the gluten sensitivity that I mentioned is going on. There are so many aspects to inflammation, and that's really one of the big roots to all of this. So here I've got Skin Boost. On the inside of your arteries is skin, as much as there is on my face and my hands here. So the epithelial cells, which again I learned in my DNA results, I've got almost stainless steel epithelial cells in my arteries. I don't know, what are yours like? That's a really interesting thing to find out. So mine don't need maybe as much of this, whereas maybe just my wound healing does, or the fact that I am under a lot of stress a lot of the times. The oxidative stress that comes from that needs antioxidants, and that's what Skin Boost is. Also called Kid Boost. Let me put my teeth back in and keep talking. So the Skin Boost is a superfood powder with all the greens, the reds, the purples that have the most nutritional bang for your buck when it comes to antioxidants. So that's huge. Now, the aspect of your gut health, are you absorbing your vitamin D, which is actually anti-inflammatory and helps your immune system too? Well, the Sunshine D3 plus K2, super absorption from this, because all the action happens in the mouth. Most of the action, I should say, not all of it. Some of it does go down into the gut, obviously, and have to be absorbed and assimilated. But because it's a liposome spray, then it starts in the mouth. So as you spray it in your mouth, I'll just do a couple now. I'm holding it in my mouth and my sublingual nodes are starting to take it in. Now, because there's D3 and K2 in there, the K2 is helping the absorption of the D, which then also interacts with magnesium and calcium. Like, these are all best friends, and they all want to work together, and they all do lots of stuff. So that's the Sunshine D3K2. I also talked about magnesium from making sure that your cells have energy, making sure that you're sleeping, because it can impact sleep. Huge buffer to stress, as well as vitamin C, that's the Alka C. I'll come on to that in a second. But taking magnesium in the Bis-Glycinate form is so absorbable. You'll find this on sproutright.com, separate to the Take This by Lianne line, but you can still find it. Just search for it up in that search bar. So I go into taking magnesium. I take sometimes 400 milligrams every night if I'm under a lot of stress. Otherwise, it's an average of 300, maybe 200, and an extra one sometimes in the morning if I know that I haven't slept well and I need a boost of energy to get through the day. Now, the thing that keeps your cells moving, right? I press on my skin and it bounces back. It doesn't get stuck there. Now that is really where the omega-3 fats come in, from the anti-inflammatory aspect, but also from your cells needing to have that up and down, that, you know, that movement to be able to take in oxygen, to be able to take in nutrients and filter it out, but also just have that movement, a bit like what you do with a stress ball. It needs to do that. And that's where the Omega Boost comes in. It's a really powerful anti-inflammatory from the EPA that's in there, matched with the DHA. So really good for memory, for your brain health, for mood as well, which is huge. Now, vitamin C, if you listen to the episode, there's a real funny thing in there where Chris is he's going to take you through a bit of a Superman thing, which is really funny, so you got to listen to that, because you'll definitely work out your abs from just laughing from that piece. So Alka C it's vitamin C, and I always say that vitamin C is such an unsung hero. And the other aspect of this is this also has chromium in it, which is one of those micro minerals for the insulin resistance that the diabetics need. Not type 1, I'm talking type 2, late onset, not so late onset so much anymore, unfortunately. So this can really, really help your cells repair. And again, strong, strong, strong antioxidant that goes along with this. So these two go really, really well together in a drink every single morning. And you can check one of my other videos where I went through what I put into my glass every morning over on YouTube and also on social media, and check that out as well. And then last but definitely not least, oh no, I have another one hiding back here. I'll come on to that. Last but not least, part 1 is the Bioboost. Now, this is for gut health, because when your microbiome is off, when the balance of good to bad bacteria is off in your gut, then inflammation, immune suppression, you know, the list goes on and on and on. So taking the Bioboost every single day, you can even do something called a flush, which I can walk you through if you're interested in that. So it's really taking 3 days and super, super populating your gut, especially if you've taken antibiotics of late, but otherwise it just really gets you on a super fast trajectory to having a more balanced microbiome. And I go into more of this on the episode. Now, the other thing that we talked about was sleep apnea, poor sleep. Are you a snorer? What's going on? Maybe you need to do some mouth taping. We covered that in one of the earlier episodes as well. And this is melatonin. Now, melatonin doesn't work for everyone, and that's another thing that'll show up on your DNA results. But this, again, is a liposome spray. So, again, absorption starts to happen in the mouth. So, faster acting than maybe your pills. You don't have to take it necessarily as earlier before you go to bed, but super effective, because when you get to sleep, that affects the belly fat. When you sleep more, that reduces your stress. When you have more oxygen coming into your body, into the cells, oh my gosh, I could just go on. I'm going to redo the whole episode now. So anyway, head over to liannephillipson.com. You'll find more about episode 114, where I do a deep dive into all the things that don't get talked about as soon as that little gizmo shows you the mercury that you've got going on with your blood pressure. And it's a worthwhile conversation to have so that you can take your power back and you can start to be intentional about the choices that you're making to address your high blood pressure. Just because that's what it says right now doesn't mean that that's really where you're going to be for the rest of your life. Super huge impact from diet and from making sure that you've got the right nutrients, nutraceuticals, supplements going in. So head over there, hit me up, put a comment below, ask your questions, and if you've got something else that you want me to talk about on Eat This with Lianne, please send me a message. Head over to sproutright.com for more information. I've got lots of videos over there on all of these too, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing your success stories of getting that blood pressure going down, down, down. Take care.